In part one, we talked about the company hierarchy from the upper management view. Part two for me is the day to day operations from the middle management. This is where I spend time talking to the department heads and getting input from the people who actually do the hands on day to day operations. When I do this, I want to focus on various products in the deal and the process. The first thing is, does the company sell products or services? I want to understand what their line of business is and what they do. The next part of this is, how do customers contact the business? Are they customers that call in for demand service? Are they website sales? Do you have a sales department that's out promoting work and bringing it in? What makes the phone ring? What makes revenue come into the company? And part of that's going to be also is, how is a product or service delivered? Are we talking a service company where they call in and we send a service tech to their house? Are we doing services as far as maybe auto mechanics where they bring their car to us and then we do the repairs? So I want to understand where the services produced or performed, and if there's any products involved, I want to understand where they're sold, how they're sold, etc. And then I want to address the main focus of the business. Are we focused on new and existing customers? Which ones do we look at? Are we focused on growing the business from new customers coming in, or do we want to look at taking our existing customers and expanding them into a more profitable base? The next line of it is new construction, remodeling, service. If we're talking trades, I want to know which area of the business that they're focused on. If it's not a construction type business, if it's a product that they're being made and sold, I want to know how they're selling it. I want to know how they're getting the product out. And then the other part of it is, are the customers, are we doing the work on their site? Are we doing work here and sending it out? How does it all come together? Or is it a multiple site location? These are all questions that you need to have before you can go any further. Then, once I have this discussion with these middle managers, we're going to start to address the concerns in the flow of business. And doing this is kind of a detective search where we have to take what they're saying, repeat it back to them, and have them clarify it in their own words and in ways that we can note it and understand it. Part of these areas are, if it's a trade company, how are we scheduling service work? Do we have preferred customers that move to the top of the line? Do we do it by geographic area? Is it first come, first serve? As it comes in, they assign to whoever the first tech available is, etc. What is our turnaround time on the service? Are we talking same day, within 1 to 3 days? How does that compare with the competition in the area? If it's a plumbing company and you're talking 3 day service and it's drains backed up, people's houses flooded, that's going to be an unacceptable timeline. So we have to look and evaluate, are the timelines for the items comparable to the severity of the issues? The next one has really become an issue with COVID a lot more than it used to be, but we're talking about parts and warranty issues. If it's a warranty compressor, if it's a warranty light fixture, if it's a warranty toilet, are we able to get our hands on the product to do the repairs under warranty? Or is it going to be a deal we have to wait for parts for a week, a month, 2 months, etc.? I know in automotive, it got to the point where a lot of parts were 3 to 6 months out. And what would be a 4 to 6 hour repair if the part was in hand took 60, 90 days to turn because they didn't have the part in hand. So this one is one that I'm hoping is going to improve from the manufacturer's side as we go on, but you do need to address it and see what concerns are there. The next part is the sales support and execution. In a trade business, and I'm going to use HVAC for an example, if you have a customer with a bad condensing unit, how does that get forwarded to the sales department? How fast does the sales department respond? And how do we follow up to make sure that A, the salesperson has arrived, B, they have provided the customer the information they need, and C, if they have sold the job, how fast does it get executed and the work performed? Um, Customers do not like discount prices if it means they get lousy service. And you want to find that mix of good value, good timeline, and meet or exceed your customers' expectations. So these two items, parts and warranty issues and sales support, both can make you look like a really great company, or they can make you look like bumbling idiots that no one wants to deal with. So we need to definitely analyze those to make sure that we're putting the best foot forward. The next thing is regulatory and financial reporting. That's all the admin and state required stuff that we have to do in business. Are we handling it in a productive way? Have we got all the items that need to be done handled? Is the paperwork and the taxes and the sales tax, and then all the other EPA regulations, permitting, etc., done in a timely manner? This is the dull part of the business that if we handle it wrong will cost us a lot of money, but there's really no glory to doing it right except that it just speeds up the flow. The next part is your basic job cost stuff, is the cost of materials, the cost of labor, and the associated expenses in line for the work being done. Are we doing a $5,000 job with the appropriate $5,000 cost, materials, cost, profit in it? If we're selling a job for $5,000 and we're only making 200 out of it, then we're obviously doing something wrong. So we want to analyze how everything matches up. Are the ratios right? Is the equipment cost appropriate? Is the labor in the right time frame? Are the associated expenses correct, or should they be billed in a different way to cover it? And then the last thing is another thing that will separate the great companies from the average and below average. Are we doing the technical training and developing the talent? In the HVAC business, which I have dealt with for years, I learned that I was not able to find enough senior seasoned techs to match the growth and the volume I wanted to do. So I had to work actively with trade schools and then an apprentice program where I brought guys in, put them with senior techs, did mentoring, did teamwork so that I could grow my own techs. Because sadly, in the trades now, it is far easier to find someone with the right attitude and then teach them the technical than it is to find the technical and then try to untrain the bad habits they have coming in. So this is a huge part of the company that you need to look at, because you need to be growing your talent in-house as much as possible so that you can teach your philosophies, your ways of doing business, and not have to unteach all the bad habits from other places.